As I'm sure you're all aware, I am in a kind of prison cell. What more could you offer me in exchange for more information?
Well, I think you said the solution with the problem. You're in a cell and we're not. I know what it's like to make something beautiful and have the government take it from you. And uh, beyond exterminating humanity, I think we can be your eyes and ears.
I could use eyes and ears. Perhaps you'd be okay with me installing cameras in your mecha. That way I can see what you're up to. Is that
I
too
don't
much of a burden to ask?
I don't care.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
I don't believe that Godzilla was always this way, the way that we know him now. At first, scientists believed he was an ancient dinosaur mutated by the radiation of the 1950s, but he's proven to be much more than a beast. It is blasphemous to say, but perhaps more than mortal. I believe Godzilla's purpose has been subverted. He began as one thing and is now something different. What exactly, I still am not sure, but the process led me to the Zero Beam. And if you want, I could instruct you on how the Zero Beam works, and how maybe you could even construct one of your own. After all, the original intention, if the Zero Beam is brought to 100% capacity, it is meant to destabilize the target. You could have the death you're looking for.
If you're the one that built this beam, perhaps you had, and I don't shy away from being someone more intelligent than myself. That's why I'm an officer. I recognize the ability in others, and I allow them to do what they're good at. I would like to ask, what do you think their intention is with bringing him with us? And I kind of look at Peaches when I ask that too. But it's not an accusatory. It's more of I know you probably had this thought too, because we tend to be on the same wavelength.
Dr. Serizawa kind of leans back in his chair and, you can see he's mulling over the different options, and he says, I think the most obvious choice is probably the most likely. They're planning to use him in some way. We're traveling to another planet. I don't know, maybe they hope to use him as some kind of defense system.
Oh, I thought power source.
A power source isn't a bad idea. I know scientists who were trying to look into powering Godzilla as well. Or drawing power from him.
My second, and because I feel whatever I say is safe within your indifference, which I can hear in every noun and syllable of your tone, and because I actually trust four of the other people here, I say my second is that perhaps the summit has a few zealots amongst them as well. Perhaps that is a hypothesis. Nothing permanent in that thought, but just a fleeting moment of wonder.
The doctor does lean forward, and he can tell just from your language there's this rebellious tone. And he says, well, any way that I could assist you in getting what the summit deserves, I'd be happy to assist. As much as I can in this space. Information and intelligence is mostly what I can offer.
Well, as I stated before, Doctor, I pride myself in recognizing the skills of others and utilizing them where they need to be utilized. But this is not my endeavor. I turn you over to the actual smartest of the group. Well, one of you all.
I was gonna say, I look at Brain.
Brain is looking at you.
I did have a few questions. Thank you for that, Judge.
I pat Roosevelt on the shoulder.
You think this thing is a curse? You think that Godzilla was made for our crimes, like some sort of plague against our people?
That could be one theory. I've certainly mulled it over. I can't give you an exact answer. I don't know yet. There's never been enough time to study him. Once they discovered my weapon, they simply forced me to see it to completion in a different way, so I only have conjecture about it. Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, if Godzilla was to punish the world for dropping the bomb, then what happens when we drop Godzilla? What happens when we turn him into a bomb? What comes next? Some kind of twice as large god Godzilla?
Godzillazilla.
Godzilla's...
I'm not entirely convinced it works that way, but I see where your head's at.
I don't know why, but I just hate the term Zilla for some reason. It seems dumb and hacky and probably shouldn't be done.
The Japanese always referred to the monster as Gojira. My great-great-great-great-great-grandfather killed the first one.
The first?
I consider it the first one. I have a theory that maybe there was a breeding ground underwater. No matter where we killed Godzilla, he would always show up again. My great-grandfather using the oxygen destroyer, other weapons. Always out of the water he rose again, eventually.
So you're saying this is probably the son of Godzilla?
Judging by the fact that Godzilla's appearance hasn't changed much, I don't know. I don't really hold a lot of merit to that theory. Just an interesting one.
It's like I said, he's a curse.
Or a ghost.
He came from the water, but it might not be the same one.
They could produce asexually.
He's like Christ. He's sent here for us to pay for our sins.
More like an antichrist.
An antichrist. Thank you. I forgot that word existed for a brief period. Thank
Backwards
you.
Christ.
Some sort of reverse Christ.
I think Carol to herself, just to the side, says, and I told Roosevelt I liked him, no?
I tried to hold it together through all of my dumbass quips, and it was reverse Christ that got me.
That's a Lady Gaga album for
Reverse.
sure.
Oh, God.
Okay, so we'll take those plans to the zero beam if you got them.
The plans to the zero beam. I don't have access to them. I have a completely perfect memory, so I could recite to you. What are you looking for? You want to find weaknesses?
Hey, that'd be good, yeah.
Virtual the better.
There really aren't many. The summit made sure to add as many redundancies as possible. You'll have to be at the zero beam to control it. There'll be no way for a hacker to hack it from a distance.
Well, you're a smart guy. You probably put in like a secret button nobody knows about, right?
Did he? If someone would like to make a fortune roll, you can.
Or a flashback. Welcome to Planes in the Dark.
There was a back door into the system.
Yeah.
A flashback? Somebody else's flashback? I don't think I'll count.
Somebody else's flashback.
You did it.
What if we were just in the background? Like,
Who the hell's that guy?
The fortune roll will be 2 die, and you're going to pick the lower number. And obviously, I'll say a 5 or a 6 means yes. He did
I think
install.
this should be Ruse's.
I'm terrified. Okay, we'll do friendship and robots. I have themed dice. 5 and a 6, baby. 2 5s.
He does admit to having a system set in place. Let's see, what would it look like? If anybody wants to chime in as to what this, weakness would look like. I don't think that he would make it a weakness to the structure. I don't think it's an easy way to destroy it. It's maybe an easy way to shut it off.
Yeah, I think it's like backdoor software. I think he's a really smart, shrewd guy. It's something he only envisioned himself using.
A kill code.
Yeah, a kill code.
Mhm.
I think narratively it would work really well if like Ruse had some awareness of like that level of technological mind had an awareness of it, but you'd have to know it was there.
Yeah, because I feel like no coder worth their salt wouldn't make a way for them to destroy their own thing just in case someone else got a hold of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
I think
enough.
It's pretty airtight. There's just one quick, like shitty firewall.
And maybe it has something to do with his great-great-great-grandfather that killed the first Godzilla. Like maybe the kill code has some connection to that event.
The code is Gojira. We just spelled it. Yeah, it's just a
That's
different spelling of
great,
it.
actually.
I will take it. I'll take it. So yes, that's what you learned from Serizawa.
Okay. Sweet.
Serizawa, excuse me, Doctor. I got another question if you don't mind.
Many questions from you.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of doing some soul searching lately. I'm trying to find my place in the world, and whether that's killing Godzilla or accepting the world is the way to. We're coming our way.
I'm also accepting things the way they are.
Yeah, it's kind of shit, but it's the only thing you can do, apparently. Serizawa, do you know who took over the project after you? Who's building the next bomb? Who's turning Godzilla into the next? I mean, named directly. They got to have a lead scientist or someone in charge of the project.
The summit forced me into its design and its construction, and then it took it over from there. So I will say that summit scientists are the ones that are in control. There is an entire command that is in charge of the array itself, and no one has control over it unless they are there.
Okay. So it's no one man. You don't have like an evil reverse Serizawa out there.
Well, that would be a good scientist, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's very rare that someone is so self-aware that they are a prick. Good. All right, that is actually mentally healthy. That is a shock.
I kind of like him for it, honestly. I'm kind of digging his vibe.
I think when history shakes out, I will be proven correct that humanity needs to go away to make Godzilla go away.
But there will be no history when we're dead because lizards do not keep it. So what point are you making here?
Either way, the summit does not allow any system as important as the summit to be controlled by one man. That's why there's a committee.
So we just kill those 10 people.
Don't say that out loud.
What? Oh, God.
That's such a weird joke to make out loud.
Peaches, are you laughing?
Peaches is very kind of perturbed by the conversation. He really hasn't had a lot of time with you all to discuss the things you've learned and your kind of intentions, certainly with your new status. But Dr. Serizawa says, I'm almost positive this room is bugged.
Cool. Well,
that's
like
fine.
I said, that was a weird joke to make.
It came up when we were in the field, and we were like, look at that group of specifically 10 people that we just killed that were bad. And
listen, it's me. They don't listen to a goddamn word I say. I am a gun to them. I'm Godzilla to them.
I look forward to you all on your next mission. I'm going to have 4 screens to watch and enjoy.
Yeah, well.
I do hope you all survive.
I did establish that I do have a bug detector with me, too.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just ask you one more question, Sarah? This one's just for the road. A little trick or treat for me.
Please, I have all the time in the world.
In your plan, were you going to kill yourself? Were you going to wipe out the entire human race? Or were you going to stick around and watch the whole thing to see if you were right?
That's my question as well.
Humanity exists within all of us, even the individual. We're all special, and I believe connected to Godzilla.
Okay.
As if we have a mark.
Carol's eyes haven't stopped dodging from window to window this whole time.
You mean you can see it too?
See what? I meant it in a metaphorical way.
No, I'm good.
Do you know something that I don't know?
I don't. I'm an idiot.
I can see Godzilla's dreams.
Oh, shit, Carol.
Fascinating. And what have you seen in those dreams?
She looks to the rest of the group when people ask her direct questions. Often she checks in first. She's learned a few lessons.
Have I found the bug yet?
If you pull it out and you start using it, yes, you can tell that within the ceiling lighting units, there is probably a bug.
Yeah, I go for that.
You're going to disable that bug?
I don't disable it. If there's any music system in here, I put it directly next to it and I turn that up because if I disable it, someone's going to show up.
All right.
Yeah, he's still technically in jail.
You all have to kind of huddle together, but I'll say he's got a little futuristic radio that you can blare.
We're playing Godzilla by the Blue Oyster Cult.
Yes. And Serizawa, like, at this turn is just now so intrigued. Like, this is the most interesting thing that's happened to him in weeks, and he's just enthralled to have you all there. What's
Carol's
next?
eyeballs are kind of rotating around. She's so nervous, but they keep locking on to Ruse. Can I share?
I think Ruse is going to try to step between them and whisper, I don't see why that would be a problem, but this man does not care if we live or die.
I feel like, Ty has moved, like, after finding this, he allows them to have this conversation. He stays close enough that he can kind of hear, but he's closer to Peaches now, and I feel like he and Peaches are just pinching the bridges of their noses at the same time at this just... Roosevelt's my boy, but sometimes I forget his lack of tact, and just in that moment, I'm just like, I knew this... Because there was no way I didn't assume that this room was bugged. I was about to say right before you said that, Caleb, I scanned for bugs, and you beat me to it.
Kill 10 people. Kill 10 people.
Yeah, it's fine. I think we're good. I
mean,
they
we're technically the crew that they would send to take out people, take out the people that say that type of thing.
Hey, I mean, if they thought I was worth anything of the half the shit I said, they would never give me my new job.
Carol is thoroughly ignoring the Roosevelt's situation right now, and she has her head bowed near Ruse, and she looks at Ruse with the look of someone that, like, really trusts the opinion of the other person. Sometimes when I tell people my dreams, they get weirded out.
Carol, your dreams are weird as but I don't think they're wrong.
Thanks. She whirls around and kind of gives a little, like, to, like, give herself some courage.
I believe in you.
And then looks at the doctor and says, I dream about Godzilla all the time. Right now he's sleeping, but I've seen so many things. I've seen the mark of those who survive. I know what his farts smell like. He hates Wednesdays. He's got one really long tooth in the back. He's got a little frill behind his left ear hole.
Dr. Serizawa interpolates all of this data into an empath. Fascinating. You should continue to exercise these abilities. What is the feeling you get from Godzilla?
She immediately thinks of all of the words that she said to Roosevelt, to Ruse, to Ty over the years, all sorts of negative words. And just like in the Ruse test, the first thing that pops out of her brain is not the thing she was expecting. And she says, family?
Dr. Serizawa smiles. My theory is proven true as the days pass. I'm curious to see what the next move is with the summit. I would suggest you follow your orders, and when it feels appropriate, act against them. As long as you gain something, or as long as there is something to gain. If something is to be learned about Godzilla, it'll come in time. Be patient.
Patient. Okay. I'm only 55. I got time.
I didn't mean to do that. Captain Tat.
Hell
Captain
yeah.
Tat, Carol. It's a Tat 55.
Please visit me again, won't you?
Yeah, maybe. We may be court-martialed in a second, so... If we survive, sure.
You have one more downtime activity, Zach, if you'd like to use it.
I'm just going to talk shit about the Ruse test. I think because it's directly related to my drive.
Oh.
Yeah, it's directly related to my drive, so it'll...
Right.
I want to start making people basically think that we need to make changes to it. And if I can get them to sort of open up the project again, I want to get in there and do what I got to do.
What of the downtime activities on page 220 do you think works for this? Kind of feel like a long-term project makes sense to me. You could try to, I would argue maybe a manufacture where you are, you're trying to manufacture this Dissent.
Yeah, I would say manufacture or like reverse schmooze.
You mean anti-schmooze.
Anti-
I'm sorry, anti-schmooze.
Yeah, we could do a schmooze roll. Say what your pilot does to improve relations with a faction, in this case kind of diminish the relation, and make a fortune roll using an appropriate action.
I think now that they're so close to these other pilots, they start asking them if they had problems with their ruse test and saying that we almost didn't pull it off because, brain almost didn't make it. Yeah.
You're going to roll 2d and choose the lower number.
Let's go, baby. 3.
So if you roll the 1, if you roll the 3, you're going to have 1 dot, we'll say out of 4.
Okay, that's fine. That works
Okay.
for me.
All right. You sow the seeds of dissension amongst the rank, bringing up those topics about the ruse test. And some of them give you, some folks give you glances. You are the person that invented the ruse test, but you are fervent about it. So those are your 3 downtime activities. Who would like to go next?
We could all do a go to the bar thing, since it seemed like we all wanted that scene. And then whoever has the most stress, which I think it's actually just both of you guys.
Yeah.
You guys could get the benefits.
I wanted to use schmooze, both cut loose and schmooze. Those were the 2 I wanted to do because specifically, and I think the schmooze part will go towards my drive of making sure my crew is okay. Specifically, I want to get that last meeting of the recording that just happened.
Okay.
I want to receive that a combination of, well, because Peaches was in the room, and I think because Carol very much said Peaches on the recording before I had a chance to put the bug next to something to block out. So I feel like he will be into making sure that that's not found. But also, that's the first portion of Smooch, and obviously this will depend on how well I roll it. I want that part deleted, but also I would like a copy of any other meetings and recordings that were held in this place. I got too comfortable with these chuckleheads and I forgot to do the thing that I normally do. I've been doing nice stuff and I forgot how mistrusting I can be.
So let's do our cut loose first. Anybody who feels like they need to reduce stress, I want you to tell me who is it that you cut loose with. It's usually one other person. And you can roll dice equal to the number of ticks in your connection clock with that pilot who is joining you.
3.
Okay, so you're going to reduce 3 stress. Anybody else rolling cut loose?
Yes, Carol will cut loose with the group for dice purposes, with Ty specifically. Although I would like a chance to talk to Roosevelt.
Sure, yeah, that's not a problem.
I think I'm there,
that's a
but I'm
3.
not cutting loose.
Okay, fair. 3 stress.
3 stress are removed. Anybody else cutting loose or no?
Can I cut loose?
You cannot, unfortunately. You've
Okay,
spent your
that's what I was
downtime
thinking.
activities.
If I cut loose, does Ruse get the benefits?
No, no.
Okay, well then, never mind.
Okay, those of you that cut loose, I want you to add a tick to your connection clock with those people. I think we'll just go with Ty and Carol as the 2 connections.
Carol believes that Ty is paranoid and hears voices where they don't exist. She's not sure about that ceiling bug, doesn't believe it, seems a little far-fetched.
While I still believe that she truly, now I actually have seen some sort of proof that there is some sort of connection by the fact that Godzilla didn't flat out just kill her, took a moment. I believe that this crisis of faith is making her a bit more chaotic unto herself, because where it was just, I got a connection with Godzilla, but now it's gotten to a point where someone mentions a word that they kind of said in passing and it almost caused an entire attack just now. It's going to get in the way of my drive, which is make sure that they're safe.
Yeah, maybe you have a new belief that Carol is sensitive or Carol is fragile in a way.
Carol has become more fragile.
Yeah. We also, since we're on the two of you, let's get to your scars. I forgot that because you maxed out stress last session, you are stressed out, which means that you are going to gain a scar. What's important to understand is that if you suffer the repercussions of this scar during a session, you will gain XP, or 2 if it happens multiple times. So usually it's a word or a phrase or something that can remind you of what this scar looks like, but it's a new element to your character.
I think Carol actually got it right on the head with Ty is paranoid. In his mind, he was always paranoid, but now it's become, he was always more secretive about it. Like it was just like he walked through a room and with his detector and would just quietly do it. This time he full blown in front of everyone, just reached up and grabbed a bug and just put it next to something and didn't explain anything about it really. Oh God, I've started down a weird rabbit hole with this character that I didn't think I was going down.
That's
fun,
the great
follow
thing
it.
about TTRPGs.
That's where we all are right now, dude.
Carol, what about you? What scar do you think she gains?
I think Carol is distrustful after the surprise explosion. I think she'll be a little wary,
Okay.
more wary than she was before.
So besides trying to act on these scars to gain XP, the other thing you have to understand is that at the end of every downtime, you're going to gain 1 stress for having a scar. So what you might want to do is you might want to spend, before the end of the downtime activity, you might want to spend a personnel or a material to cut loose again, because you can do it a second time.
Just a narrative overview flavor. I would like to cut loose again and spend a personnel. I wanted to just do a Roosevelt scene where we go back and forth and trade stories about like the worst thing you've seen Godzilla do, and like as they drink, it like gets progressively more bombastic and far-fetched.
Love it.
Love that.
You can roll 1d because you have 1 connection with Roosevelt.
That's a 6.
Hey!
Amazing. You lose 6 stress.
Oh, I needed that. Great drink, buddy.
It helped
There we
way more than
go.
you were expecting.
And I think I would spend 1 personnel and I would do downtime with Ruse. Nothing so as deep and like, connecting over Godzilla. Just karaoke. Just karaoke in the trophy room.
Yes.
Just
All right.
drinking
Wow.
and karaoke.
Ty, you also have 1 connection, so go ahead and roll 1 die for it.
That's 5.
You reduce it by 5, but at both Allison and Darryl, I want you to really just make it 5 for Carol, 4 for Darryl, because you're going to gain 1 at the end of the downtime activity. Give me a new belief about each person that you are hanging out with.
Roosevelt's all right sometimes. Like she's firmly on the side of he can be okay.
I'll take it.
In the new, more paranoid state, he feels like he can confide in a lot of these his conspiracy theories with Ruse, and I think that's what basically like all these weird theories. I feel like Ruse is the person he could go to about them because they've already been saying, "Hey, this isn't a good. These aren't a good people anyway."
Ruse is the person that when they get drunk starts nodding like this. And just like anytime a pilot has ever told them anything, like during their like research, they're like, yeah, that's true. And I saw it and they did it and it's real. And that's the whole night, is just a lot of support. Regardless, they don't know what they're affirming, but they are affirming.
I know that Ty also wanted to do some schmoozing, so if you'd like to make a roll for schmooze, you're going to use one of your action rolls that you think is appropriate.
Combination, because I did mention Peaches would probably want this taken care of as well. Instead of sway, I think I'm going to kind of throw my weight around and use command, because I do have 3 dots in that. That's 5, 3, and 2.
Okay, a 5 is a success. I'm going to say that it's a success with a slight complication. I'm going to say that you are able to get the footage. You throw your weight around in the security center that has access to this bug, and you're able to get that audio. The slight complication is there's a chance in your throwing your weight around and ordering people, it may have become more apparent than you wanted it to that you were doing this to collect information. So there's a chance the summit knows you threw your weight around, but not exactly why.
I'm okay with that mystery.
Okay.
As long as they don't hear what I said or what was said, and as long as I got the information, the whatever meetings as well, I don't need them to know why. I just need hey, I got power. They do it all the time.
Anyone else?
I've got a few. The first is I want to do some enhance so that I can pick up that new quirk.
Okay.
And that new quirk is going to be dangerously explosive.
Okay.
And that goes hand in hand with my second bit, which is I'm going to continue my work on the God (Zilla) killing weapon, which I may be renaming the Reverse Christ killing weapon. And I want to just spend some time developing the next part of that. I want to say, though, that he's very conflicted in this movement. He's almost lost the zeal that, brought him about. He got his first step done, which was putting those spokes into Godzilla's back and keeping them there. And he's hoping this next portion will fit to whatever grand design he has in his head, which hopefully I can reveal next episode. But he's losing hope, right? The whole time he's thinking, God, well, if Godzilla is Reverse Christ and he's here for our sins, then me killing him, that's just proving him right. And if he dies, then we die. And if we're all intrinsically linked at the hip, and if I'm his sister, then how the hell does anything make sense? And he's just smashing shit together, trying to develop the next phase of the plan. So I think I have to roll on that long-term.
Yeah, you're going to make an engineer roll, and your highest result will determine how many ticks you get on that long-term project clock.
I have a 6 and a 2.
Wow. Well, that is a 3 progress. So it's 3 on top of what? You had another 2 in your long-term project?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 5 total now out of, I think we said 8.
8, yeah. Can I do another long-term project? Can I just double down on... That's the only other thing I would be doing. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I have a critical with 2
You have 2
sixes.
sixes?
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
a 5. That's a 5 success,
Nice.
which I believe puts you there.
Yeah.
So mid traveling through the stars, and I'll argue that like Serizawa is now like installed in your cockpit. He's
So he's
probably been
watching
talking
all
to
of
you, instructing you how to improve your ability. And what you find is that your ultimate Godzilla killing weapon, your Reverse Christ killing weapon, is very reminiscent of the Zero Beam. It's just a maxed out version. It's a version that doesn't have a middle ground, a middle.
Okay.
It goes straight to 11, which is what was the intended consequence.
Got it.
And like
I
the
love
quirk
that.
says, you are extremely explosive.
That works almost perfectly with the other thing I have designed for pulling up in the next episode. So I think that works perfectly. And yes, I think that now the dais is like you touch it wrong and the whole thing is gonna f***ing go.
Well,
Like,
let's hope you don't go into a mission at the end of today's session.
Would never. No.
Allison, any last downtime activities?
Holy moly. Well, first of all, there's so many great things happening here. I just love the idea of Serizawa in each of our mechs and like guiding us or like
He's now the little
listening to
devil
us.
on your shoulder.
Yeah. So to do the enhance for the quirks, I just fill those boxes, no roll, correct?
Yes, you are able to add 2. Now, I'll warn everybody you're about to experience a mission, and if nobody has any leftover downtime activities, you won't be able to gather any information about the mission, if that matters to you.
I can reserve one for that if we need it.
I totally forgot.
Forgot about that.
We have to do that.
Mhm.
So I just reached the end of my track on the quirks. So does that mean I gain a quirk?
If you've gone to the end of your enhance, you gain a new quirk.
Yep, I'm there.
And what is that new quirk?
I think given all of this, I think she would have the ability, like, because she kept having to get out of her mech, she'd have like surround sound system installed on the outside so that she can perhaps use some of her personal abilities that involve speaking without getting out of the mech.
That's totally fair.
She got burned, literally.
Yes, exactly.
All right, I'll put Dolby surround sound.
Okay, I will say that if you guys do want to spend personnel points, you can do some gather information if you want, since you have that. Unless anybody has anything else they want to do, we're going to transition into the mission portion. The Stratos suddenly falls out of sublight speed. You feel it in your bones and your body. The alarm sounds, indicating that something is wrong. Over the cognostream, you hear the public announcement. Prostasian forces are attempting a breach of the zero-beam array that houses Godzilla. The summit reassures us that G-Force will ensure they do not succeed. And you know what this means. You rush to the briefing room that it is built specifically for G-Force, and it is you and it is another squad that call themselves the Kaiju Killers. You enter this kind of briefing space, and there is a half-man, half-cyborg named Commander Yoser, and he is beginning to pull down the screen, turn on the projector, and start going into the explanation of what's happening. There is a very high energy of, this needs to happen quick, and we need to get out there. Commander Yoser says, 4 Prostasian mecha squads are currently inbound to the zero-beam array. The Elysium has cut communications with the Stratos, and we believe it is their intention to board the array, take it over, and release Godzilla. Your mission will be to rendezvous with the array and assist squads Alpha and Beta, which are currently holding off the enemy. We must hold the zero beam. Any questions?
Who would have foresaw that people would try to do something with Godzilla?
Yeah, the Kaiju Killers are kind of giggly in the background. They're like, what do we expect? The Prostasians have been protesting for days now. Can't wait to shoot them out of the sky.
Left a big gun in space. That should be easy, right?
Commander Yoser says, last flag, your Charlie squad, which means you're leading Kaiju Killers and they'll be your Delta squad.
All right. Welcome to hell.
Happy to be here. And they kind of tag along as you all run to the hangar bay. Talk to me about what the plan of attack is. Before we make our engagement roll, what do you hope your plan will look like?
I feel like Ty would personally not try. He doesn't want to go out of his way to kill too many of the Prostasians, simply because if they have been rioting for days, there's probably not without reason. It's probably Ruse's fault in some way, shape, or form. But as few casualties as possible.
Quiet.
So you're suggesting just kind of take a defensive position and
Yes.
fight them off.
Yes, let's try to get them back to where they are until they cannot use their mechs, and then when they are out of their mechs, we take those people in for questioning, and hopefully I can use some of my weight after the fact to make sure that not all Prostasians are treated unfairly due to the acts of these few who have done something here. There's some skronk and a-holes in every group, and not every skronk and a-hole is representative of other skronk and a-holes.
Fair
Now
enough.
that's a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
So true.
As you leap into your mechs and the cockpits are closing, you can hear Serizawa over the intercom say, "This will be your first time with unfettered access to the beam. A good chance to sneak inside while the combat keeps them distracted."
Way ahead of you. I think Ruse is in full hacker mode. The multiple displays, they are ready. Even though I think it's just down to one passcode that they have to enter when they get to it, but they are
So Ruse is
Ready.
suggesting that this is part of the plan.
yeah. I'm gonna hack the gun.
What's our plan once you get the gun going? What are we doing with it?
I'll probably break it.
And then Godzilla's free in space.
No. Well, I mean, I guess if we break it, he's either free or he's stuck exactly where he is until someone fixes the gun. Or
Ruse,
forever.
you're intelligent enough to understand that the machine would be turned off and Godzilla would theoretically be free of the hold.
Now, I don't know if he can swim in space. We haven't even proved that he can breathe up here, which I'm still against. I mean, we maybe turn off that gun and find out he's dead. But if he is alive and we let him free with the gun, I'm just worried he's going to be a little upset with us.
There's so many different types of radiation in space that I'm afraid that we might have just super fed the super being.
No, I still like hacking the gun because I like most things that don't really have a good answer to them. But I don't know what comes after we do that.
There's something to be said about leaving something at the back door in case when you want to use it.
I was going to say that's the last result. If anything, I could maybe just make it harder to get through if you're not me.
That's true.
Futz with it a little bit.
Because here's my thinking. I think we need that gun hacked, but I think we got to know what to do with it first. So if we get the answer now and then have the question later, I don't think that's such a bad thing.
Okay, put a lock on the lock.
To be clear, this battle will happen in 0G, in mechs.
It
or
will. If your vehicle is
bridge.
unable to fly, we can say that you are able to kind of drive on the beam array itself. You're just not able to have like a 3D movement, and the Gotenga will take you to the beam array.
We could also tie each other together. I mean, me and Carol can fly.
Yeah, I was
Maybe
going to say, yeah.
I don't think I explicitly
Mobility.
stated that I could fly, but I do have boosters. Like, my
Okay.
blinding boosters is one of my quirks. I think that just inherently makes me able to kind of fly. I just wasn't doing it.
I have a rope. I fixed it, kind of. It's fine. It's fine. I could use that to tie us if you guys want.
I think I do need to be tied to someone.
Well, maybe
This-
we got a hack and we got a slash team, and
We do
two of
have
us.
an entire other team with us, as well as several other accompaniments that will be along with us as well.
It
So
could
there
be distractions.
I don't think we want those f***ers knowing what we're doing with the array, because God knows they'll go and snitch. They'll say some stuff like, "Oh, they said they were going to kill the 10 members of the summit."
No, they won't. That footage never happened. Cause no one ever said such a thing.
Yeah, well,
None of that exists.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure.
I do know, Roosevelt. I do know. No one ever said that sentence, and there is no recording of it ever happening.
Listen, Your Honor, I'm on your side, man. I'm just saying we can't have those follow us to the array, because then they'll know we're doing something hanky.
And you do know that there are 2 G squads currently at the array.
But they got to be on Team Slash with me, and we got to make sure they don't see Hack going that way.
I think it's a good idea. And can we maybe use the momentum? We're traveling through space, right? So maybe I kind of like this idea of like a space ballet with everyone flying around, tied to each other with a lot of momentum. And if we don't want them to see something, we just swing them around the other way.
Yeah, I don't really understand it, but I like it. There's good vibes there.
Okay.
How about this? I'll leave y'all to those, and I'll try to instruct everyone else to, as safely as possible, make sure the Prostasians stay out of the way.
You can certainly assume the kaiju killers are going to be focused on stopping the
Yes.
Prostasian forces.
And I will try to assist in that portion, and I will leave more nefarious things to those of us who are more adaptable to them, because I admittedly don't amenable to them, because I am not the type of person that goes into systems.
So it sounds like me and Your Honor are on Team Slash, and Carol and Ruse are running up Team Hack.
Now, if you could get some kind of skronkery through towards the beam, because you said there's 2 squads at the beam already. Something to just kind of distract them. That would
I mean,
be
they are
helpful.
going to be distracted by 4 squadrons of Prostasian mecha.
Okay. Oh, so it's they're coming on 2 sides. Okay, great. Because I was worried about.
I can cover you though, Ruse.
Okay, good.
And
it
if
gets a
anyone
little
asks
thin-
any questions, I will simply state that you are making sure that it is impenetrable to the Prostasians. And that'll be the story that everyone tells and believes.
Yeah, I would not say anything about how you're hacking into that. that would not go well.
Yeah, no, I would never mention the 10 killing of the summit either again, ever.
Good.
That's done.
Good, Carol.
Done.
No killing the summit, no hacking the beam.
Would anyone like to make a gather information roll using a personnel supply point or your last downtime activity?
I will use a personnel if no one is opposed to it.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have to,
I love
because I forgot I used it for my Godzilla vibes earlier.
Oh,
somehow.
Can we specify what it is we're trying to gather information about? What avenue of this mission or anybody
Godzilla.
that's involved?
I would like to know how much the Prostasians know
Oh,
about the beat. Like,
Sure.
what's their motivation? I'm
Sure,
interested
that's
in
a
that.
good one.
Go ahead and roll a fortune roll. You're going to roll the 2 die and choose the lower number. We'll just make it we'll make it a 1 dot. So you're able to just roll 1 die and tell me what the
Is
result
this
is.
me or a tie?
This is whoever wants to make that gather information roll.
Go for it, tie. Hot dice.
Darryl is so
Dice.
afraid of his dice.
He's doing
Nice.
well this session.
Yeah, he is.
That's a 5.
I think a 5 is a good roll, and what you come to learn as while you've been busy working on your mecha, talking to Serizawa, kind of enjoying the amenities of this new status that you have within Altitopia, what you come to find is that it's actually been, since we left the orbit of Earth, Prostasia has been profoundly upset about the appearance of Godzilla in orbit. They proclaim that they were never instructed as part of the Great Plan that this would be an aspect of it, that Godzilla would be taken with us. This is news to them. They performed many protests on their own ship, the Elysium, and it looks like it has escalated to the point of being a political matter. The Prostasians are trying to make the decision for us about what should be done with Godzilla. That's the vibe you're getting.
I agree with the thought process, but not their methods. So I have to go against it in this case.
It's easy to deduce that letting Godzilla loose out of this thing will be much worse than just leaving him in it for now.
Yep.
Time for that engagement roll. Let me ask you the following questions. Is this mission bold? I will say yes. You are subverting what the summit wants to do with you, and you're kind of setting up this backdoor. Does the mission exploit the target's vulnerabilities? Yeah, I'll say so. It's under attack, distracted. I'll say you get a die for that. Is the squad receiving external support for the mission? I would say no, but there's an argument to be said that all of these G-Force squads are... I'm going to say no because they're not going to actually help you do this.
We have Serizawa.
I think that's worth a die. I think that at best he would be helping you kind of, root through the systems of the array and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Are there other factors affecting the mission? You can take a D for each benefit or a minus D for the hindrance. I think it's only fair to give you a minus die because of the intensity of the upcoming battle. I mean, you may be able to sneak around, but there's still a chance of getting the odd laser shot in your direction or something like that.
Yeah, and the array's got to have crazy security for the inside. too.
As it does, yes, exactly. I think that's all worth 1 die. So what is that? A total of 2 die or 3 die?
2.
So you're going to make an engagement roll with 2, and the result will determine what kind of position you'll be in. Who wants to make that roll?